All right, guys, welcome this morning. Today we're going to do a lot of movement practice today, and then also I want to remind you before we get started, tomorrow we are doing our TACFIT kind of, for lack of a better word, assessment, okay? So again, if you want to do that tomorrow and you want to approach it the way we're recommending, which is using it as just an assessment of your movement, your conditioning, muscular endurance, and having a goal during this time, you might want to review what we did last time, but basically you'll be doing the exercises, in Tabata style, so 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 8 sets. You're going to be recording, okay, the reps, that you're doing in those 20-second intervals, and then as you do it, so you have to keep your mind engaged as well. So if you're not counting, then you won't know the number. So it's part of it is to keep your mental engagement as you're training, and then also taking your heart rate between exercising, trying to focus on your breath through the whole session. So, and then hopefully, if you've been doing this on a regular basis, you'll be able to see that progression from the last time that we did it. Because again, we've been practicing a lot of this same movement over the last few weeks. Okay, so we're going to start today like we've been doing recently, or trying to incorporate a little bit each day. Into this joint mobility. Again, we're going to try to kind of continue to evolve this a little bit more, but this is kind of very, very like beginner stages of, I like to give credit when I've learned something from someone else, but into flow, which was Scott Sonnen, part of the TACFIT program. So we're going to start with that, just working from the head to down. So with the neck first, going forward and then up. Then we're going to go side to side like you're trying to. So with this, you don't want to. Part of the reason we call it into flow, okay, is you want to make that connection to your body, okay. So you're not just going through the motions. You're focusing, okay, on what you're feeling, and you're using that feedback to get better. So I don't want to force into it, okay. I'm thinking if I'm going to the edge of wherever my range of motion is, and I want to kind of challenge it. If I continue to do that over time, okay, with the right intention, then I will start to gain mobility back. Most of us, especially if you're, I would say if you're at least over 50, okay, you probably have lost some range of motion, okay? So this is a way to kind of help regain some of that, okay? If you're younger than 50, then this is a way to help you maintain it, okay? So it works on both ends of the spectrum, okay? So side to side. And if you're not aware if you've lost range of motion, if you have to turn your shoulders to look when you're backing out of your driveway, you don't have full range of motion in your neck, which is probably most of us. Okay. Now, ear to shoulder. Okay, again, all these things, none of these movements are we trying to compress. We're actually trying to create some length. So as we go down, we're not compressing on this side. We're trying to lift on the opposite side. All right, now we're going to go work the shoulders. So we're going to bring the shoulders back. Okay, so roll them back up towards the ears, and then kind of let everything come forward and drop. And then we're going to reverse. Good. All right, now we're going to go both arms up. Okay, so we're trying to reach as far as we can up, but we don't want to compensate by leaning back. So you're kind of bringing the ribs down by you and keeping the core engaged, and then trying to find whatever that range of motion is for you. And we're also going to try to keep the shoulder packed down. So we're not trying to raise up. For this one, we're going to keep it down. And then circles, little small circles. Reaching up, but packing the shoulders down. Then reverse. Good. Okay. Now we're going to reach across. Okay. So again, we're reaching across. We're using the pec to open up the back. Okay. So like in where the posterior deltoid, and then also into the rhomboids, a little bit of the trap as well. Reaching across, circling. And then reverse. And then we're going to reach behind, open up the pec. Reverse. Good. Same thing on the opposite side, reaching across. Reverse. Good. And then behind. And reverse. Good. Okay. Now palms facing, we're going to reach up. Okay. This time we'll kind of elevate the shoulders, open back up, and then bring everything through. Reverse. Good. Okay, then bringing the arms straight out. So we roll as we rotate the palms down. We're going to roll the shoulders over and then back. Good. Okay. Now we're going to work, just working the hinge pattern again. So we're going to go feet together, heels out. Okay. Again, we're trying to use our breath here as well, using it a little bit differently. So we're going to inhale, getting tall. Okay. Anchoring to the floor by kind of almost like you're trying to squeeze your knees together. Okay. And then creating that space here. So big inhale, lengthen, exhale, and bring the arms out. Another big inhale, get taller, exhale, pressing those hips back, reaching forward. Big breath in. Exhale. One more big inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Good. And slowly come up. Good. All right. Same thing with the feet wide. Big inhale. Exhale. Arms out. Hips back. Pressing back. Another big inhale. Exhale. Reaching forward. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. And then slowly come up. Good. All right, last one. Feet parallel. Inhale. Exhale. Up. Push back. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Reaching forward. Inhale. Exhale. One more big inhale. Exhale. And then slowly come up. Good. All right. Now we're going to work that pelvic tilt again. So as I tilt back, I'm not trying to compress, I'm trying to create length. So I'm pressing back, tilting up, pressing back, tilting up. Okay, now putting that together. So we're going to take a big inhale here, open up. So your pelvis is going to tilt back as you open up. Okay, as I come forward, I'm going opposite direction. So now as I press my hands forward, tilting the pelvis the opposite way, bringing the ribs towards the pelvis, squeeze the quads, not a maximum contraction, just squeeze and then try to bring everything together. Squeeze out, then you inhale, open up, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, one more big inhale, exhale, Okay, now working the hips. So we're going to go hip back, forward, other side, just circles. And reverse. Good. Okay. Now we're going to do a twist. So we're going to reach up and away. Good. Now we're going to keep the feet planted, just rotating. Good. Now we'll go back to the arms here. So doing our circles here. So try to bring the fist underneath the chin as best you can. Roll down, pinch. So you're taking your arms out and then rotating through. Reverse. Okay, then the wrist. Bring the hands back. Good. Okay. Now we're going to circle the knees. And then reverse. Good. Okay. Now we're going to bring, we'll stand on the right foot. Okay. So if you need to bend the knee a little bit, that's fine. Okay. Stabilizing your weight on one leg. You're going to bring the other leg up. So try to bring your knee up. Okay. And just take the knee out and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then try to extend. Little circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then switch legs. Again, stabilize on your left. Bring that right knee up. Extend. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then extend and circle. 1, 2, try to keep the knee locked. 3, 4, 5, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Switch back to your right. Bring the knee up. Extend. Now you're going to point the toe. Pull it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Switch legs. Get out. Point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay. Switching again. Okay. This time all we're going to do is like a leg swing. So as we cross over our midline, okay, we're going to kind of slightly internally rotate. Okay. As we open up, we're going to slightly externally rotate. So we're crossing over and then opening up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right. So now we're going to kind of go into a little bit of our flow fit practice with some of those movements as well. Okay. So starting with the squat. So we're going to kind of build it slow, then we're going to practice some of the movement as we go and spend a little bit more time at each movement. Okay. So not really trying to create a flow with it today. Obviously, if you want to practice some of that, you're welcome to, but the practice today will be more a slower movement and just trying to have more precision with the movement, and then finding the spots where you need to work, okay, and spending more time in those spots, okay? So let's start with the squat. So again, you can have your feet either parallel, okay, or slightly turned out. If I turn too far out, I'm going to lose the position, okay? I lose the torque, so I don't want to do that. But you know, if I need to open up a little bit to give my hips a little bit more space, that's fine, okay? And we're going to bring the arms out, and we're going to lift the chest as we pack the shoulders down and try to keep the eyes straight ahead. And we're going to reach back with the hips. So reaching back. As we get into that bottom of our squat, wherever that range of motion is for you, we don't want to move the foot, but we want to think about from the hips, we're going to create torque by driving the knees out. So you should feel the glutes activate. We're going to hold there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. As we go to stand back up, we're driving through the entire foot, but really for most people, think about driving through your heels as you come up. As you extend, the knees lock. I squeeze my quads, and then my glutes also squeeze. So now I'm kind of like it back in almost like a plank position, okay? And then same thing going down. I'm going to press my hips back, control it down. And then as I get to that position, make sure I'm lifting the chest, pressing the hips back and creating that torque at the hip, pressing down, back up, and then down. Nice and slow, making sure the knees are tracking with the middle of the foot, not caving in, creating space for my hips, and then back up. 2 more. Down. Up. 1 more, down like that. All right, now we're going to, from here, we're going to Try to pull yourself down. So I'm keeping engaged. I'm not relaxing. Lifting here. Okay, now I'm going to press onto the ball of my foot, okay, without lifting my hips. So I press onto the ball of my foot and keep my hips down. So I'm lifting up on my toes as high as I can, but still pulling myself down. Now from that position, maintain your core engagement. You're going to drive the knees out even more and see if you can kind of use your hamstrings almost like a curl. I'm pulling myself a little deeper so that your butt is almost on top of your heels and opening up the hips. I'm driving the hips out. At the same time, I'm going to take my arms out. So roll my shoulders down and back, lift the chest, open up. I'm going to hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring the hands back forward. Now we're just going to press the heels back down and then stand back up. Good. Okay? So one of the things, if you're more flexible, okay, what you might find is you're relaxing into the squat. Okay? So what we're actually trying to do here is we're working on, again, this is, just the way I define it. If I'm talking about the mobility gets thrown out a lot, but the way I'm defining mobility in this situation is it's the range of motion where I can create tension or proper tension. So if I don't have tension, it's not really functional in my opinion. So you might have the range of motion, but if you can't create force there, it's not really going to help you, right? So from a functional standpoint. So when that squat, it's more challenging to keep the tension on. If you're more flexible, like I'm not that flexible, so it's easy for me to keep tension there. So sometimes what I have to do to be able to get low is I have to release some tension to gain more range of motion. If you're more flexible to benefit from it, you're going to probably naturally want to relax into that position, okay? And then you're not really engaging the muscle, you're just holding on with ligaments and tendons, right? So that's not really what we're trying to do in that situation. So try to find that point of balance between, not so much tension that you can't create range of motion, but not so little that you're not working in that position, okay? So let's try that again. Arms forward. Pressing the hips back. Same thing, we're going to go up onto the toes. So lifting up as high as we can, keeping the chest up, creating a little more torque at the hip. Find that position. Lengthen, 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 arms out. Roll those thumbs up, pack the shoulders down. Pull yourself a little deeper if you can, but still try to maintain the tension. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, bring the arms back forward. Press the heels down, and then stand up. All right, one more time. Arms out. Pressing the hips back. Up on the toes. Drive the knees out. Lift the chest. Try to pull yourself a little deeper. Open up. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the arms forward. Press the heels down. Stand back up. Good. Okay. Next, we'll work our quad press. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the ground. Okay. So again, we're going to set up on all fours. So our hands are going to be underneath our shoulders. Okay. I'm going to rotate the hand in slightly, about 45 degrees. So as I go down, I'm letting my elbow come in this direction, okay, not out here, okay, so I can keep my shoulder in a packed position, okay. I want to make sure I keep my core engaged and try as best I can keep my spine parallel to the floor, all right. I'm still creating torque at the hip like we did on the squat, so I'm not going to turn my feet in, but when I'm on the ball of the foot here, as I go down, I'm driving my knees out, okay. So I'm creating torque at both the shoulder and the hip as I keep my core engaged, okay? So we're going to go nice and slow. we're going to do a few reps here, and then we'll kind of progress it a little bit and speed it up, okay? So the first ones we're just going to go down 5. We'll hold that bottom position, keeping the core engaged for 5, up 5. We're just going to do three reps like that, okay? So nice and slow. As we come up, get in position, turn the hands in slightly. Come up on the toes. And then we're going to go down in 5, creating that torque. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then down in 5. 1, 2. You're literally pulling yourself down. 3, 4, 5. And hold there. 3, 2, 1. Up in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. Pulling down, engaging, packing the shoulders, driving the knees out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay? So that's just learning, we're trying to build tension and learn how to create the proper tension before we move faster, right? It's that whole idea of like crawl, walk, run, right? So that was the crawl phase, okay? Now we'll go a little faster with it, okay? So now we're going to try to integrate the breath with it. So our breath will actually, ideally, will be breathing in at the top, okay? Exhale through the movement. So in other words, if I'm set up here, okay, I take a little inhale, and then when I exhale, okay, and keeping the core locked in, okay? So let's just go 10 good reps like that, okay? So we'll set up, okay? Ready, and begin. Okay? All right, so the next phase of that, if you can, if not, you can always regress back. That's kind of what we're showing too. So you can go slower. You can go with the one we did just now. The next one's going to be, now you're putting it all together, and literally you're using like stored energy, basically. Think of your muscles like a spring, right? So as I'm going down, I'm storing energy, and then I'm releasing as I come up, okay? So this one, and a good way to test yourself, if you're rocking back and forth like that, you're probably you don't have your core engaged, or you're not in the proper position. So it's a good test for that, right? So now as we do it, you're going to try to create some elevation off the ground, okay? So I'll show a few, and then we'll do it together. So here, boom, boom. And as we go down, you can even do a few to kind of build up. Okay? So let's do like 5, and then we'll see if we can do 5, adding in the explosive aspect of it, okay? Good. Okay. The next level of that is actually you elevate and you clap, okay? So for the camera, we'll see how this goes, okay? So this is more challenging. So you actually bring not just your hands, but your hands and your feet together, okay? That needs work, okay? But the idea, you want to do it safely, okay? But that's the whole idea. That's the progression, right? So there's always another level, right? But there's also a level everybody can do. So, you get where you can do that for 8 sets, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. I'd say you're pretty good shape, okay? All right. Y'all want to try that? Okay. So we show that one for today, okay? All right, so the next movement we're going to work on, we worked on a lot, is the sit through. Okay, that'll be in our TAC Fit session tomorrow. So good day to practice it today. Again, we're going to start slow. Okay, try to dial in the movement. Okay, and again, I think what I'm trying to emphasize with this is, Larry was with me. I forget how long ago it's been. I haven't seen Scott. I mean, I've followed Scott Simon's work for years, and it's like we were talking about the other day. The longer I do this, the more I appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it, as much. I mean, I did appreciate it, but not. If I had realized what he was talking about 20 years ago, okay, and applied that, and I actually told him last time I saw him, I was like, man, I just didn't have the patience, right? And so I see this a lot of times with people. So I'm not, it's like we talk about our shadow self. So it's not like, why do you not get it? And when I'm trying to explain it, it's like I didn't get it, right? Or I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. So, but if you can get an understanding of this, it's pretty incredible, the concept, right? So, but learning the movement properly, and then not wasting energy and time doing things improperly, right? So movement is not equal. So I see a lot of times, a lot of stuff's activity-based. We want to move, right? But how I move is very, very important. So if I move improperly, then over time I accumulate compensations and then potentially injuries and things like that. So I have done quite a bit of that. So the point is now I'm trying to unravel stuff. So if you can get to that point earlier, then hopefully you don't have to unravel. You actually are able to continue to build and get better, without having to take a step back, okay? So, and then those of us who need to take a step back, sometimes we don't want to do that, right? So think of this as also can be a practice of humility and taking a step back to get better. Sometimes we have to do that, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of us, myself included, I didn't take a step back until I had to, And so, and it's been a process trying to get back and do some things that I couldn't do before. But it's a journey, right? So everybody's different. But we're trying to kind of emphasize that aspect to you, okay? So with the sit through, same thing. We're going to go nice and slow to build it, and then we'll kind of speed it up as we go, okay? So the first one, right? Setting up the same way, okay? Hands underneath the shoulders. Now our hands are going to be pointing straight ahead, okay? Very important. We're creating that torque at the shoulder, okay? And ideally the elbow is going to be locked, okay? And the inside of your elbow is going to be facing forward, okay? That shows me that I've got the proper tension pack in my shoulder. It saves my shoulder. It makes it more strong, more stable, okay? I don't need to look away. I'm just going to look right down where my arm is, okay? So for the first one, as I'm pressing into the ground, like a push-up, and packing the shoulder, engaging both my pec and my lat, okay? And then my hips are going to rotate. I'm just using my other arm to help me with the rotation. So I'm pulling. It's the old, if you think about from a martial arts perspective, the basic punch here, okay? Yin and yang. It's push-pull, okay? So there's no motion that we really do typically in isolation. You look at all sports. If I'm throwing the football, I can't throw the football with my right arm. This shoulder doesn't move, right? So I have to create this opposite action, right? That's all we're doing here, right? So we're pushing and pulling as we go, okay? And then my hips are going at the same time. So we're learning to move that as well, okay? So we're here, okay? Coming up. I'm going to press down and, okay? My eyes stay here. My fingers are spread, and I've got good grip on the ground, okay? Ideally, the elbow's locked, okay? Inside the elbow facing forward, packing the shoulder. I don't need to over-rotate. So that's what a lot of people look up. They're over-rotating. They're putting their shoulder in a more vulnerable position. So I'm going to be here strong, okay? Back foot is supporting, okay? This foot I can use for support as well in the basic movement, right? But if I pick it up, I can still have it because I have two bases of support. Now I have three bases. So it just gives you more stability if you need it in the beginning, okay? So let's just do 10 back and forth nice and slow, okay? And then same thing with our other movement. So we're always going to try to exhale through the movement, okay? We're not going to hold the breath, okay? And the more you can synchronize the breath with the movement, the more you're going to get out of it, okay? So we're here. Boom. Good. Okay. All right. So the next one we're going to do, now we're just going to take the foot out. Okay. We'll just do 5 each side. Okay. We can do a progression where we put the foot on the ground. Okay. We're going to try to go right into the one where you actually have your foot elevated, and we're going to hold that. Okay. Just 5 on each side. And try to extend that knee. Again, we're packing the shoulder. Nothing changes. The leg is locked, toe is off the ground. Ideally, my toe is kind of in line with my hand, and I'm holding that, pressing down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back. Other side, sitting through, locking the knee, looking down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more each side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. All right, now we're going to go into the spinal rock, but we're going to start with the hollow crunch, okay? So, again, just kind of re-emphasizing that. So we'll start here, okay? Remember, abs engaged first, okay? Always starting from the core. So abs are engaged, okay? I can keep one foot down. I'm going to, without lifting my back up, bring my knee up. Just over my hip, okay? Try to maintain that, keep my back on the floor, bring the other knee up. So that's going to be our starting position, okay? From there, bring the arms over the, straight up over the chest like we're reaching towards the ceiling. And now pressing the low back to the floor, keeping the abs engaged. I'm going to reach like I've got a string attached to my sternum towards the ceiling as high as I can. Pulling my shoulders off the floor, keeping my shoulders packed down. I'm just going to squeeze there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to slowly keep the low back on the floor and slowly extend the legs without allowing the shoulders to drop. We're going to hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, without letting the low back come off the ground and without letting my shoulders drop, raise my arms overhead as far as I can. Hold that. 5, 4. Keep those abs engaged. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to take the tip of the elbow, slowly bring the elbows and knees together, and squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back out. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly back out. Squeeze the legs strong. Press the low back down. Lift the shoulders up. Bring the arms back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Now, when you do your your spinal rock, okay, we want to find that core, right? So you're not just rocking using momentum, you're actually engaging, okay? And then let's show one more, actually, well, that's fine. We'll do, so when we do I think Larry showed it before, you could put your feet on the wall to bridge, okay? So also you're adding in the bridge, okay? So we practice that quite a bit, right? From the ground. We're bridging, okay? So when you do this movement, you're actually engaging the core, and then you're also, part of your core is not just your abs, but your low back as well, okay? Your hips, all this is engaged. So I'm actually extending my hips. So I'm going from flexion, extension, extension. So it's a lot of movement all in one, and then I'm going to use my breath with that. So my initial movement here is going to be take a breath in, okay, and I'm opening up. As I exhale, I'm not just blowing my air out, I'm squeezing my abs. And my abs are engaged. Now as I come back, they're still engaged. Elevate, down, they're still engaged. Now open up, okay? So that's kind of the motion there. So let's try 10 of those. Ready, and go. Okay, and then our next progression will be to bring the legs overhead. So what we're going to do for this one is we're just going to stay in that, like in yoga we call it like the plow. So as best you can, we're just going to do it nice and slow, and then we'll stay there, and then we'll do a few other reps for the second progression to finish up. So as we come up here, now we're going to let the legs drop. So when the legs drop, if you can, you're going to make sure your legs stay straight. Okay, trying to bring the toes to the floor, so we're just going to stay there for a few seconds. Okay, coming back up. All right, now let's just do 10 of that progression, right? So now we come here, okay. Touch if you can. Come back up. Touch the toes. Good, okay? Since we're already here, we're just going to practice the twist. So we're going to bring one leg up, cross over, okay? Again, I'm trying to lengthen this leg so I can kind of pull the toe back, press the knee down. This foot, I'm going to try to get straight. Flat on the floor. And I'm just holding here to try to focus on sitting up as tall as possible, okay? Using this hand, or if you've got enough mobility, you can reach this arm on the other side. But you're hugging this knee without sitting back. So you're going to try to stay tall, pulling this knee into your chest. You're going to reach back with the opposite arm. And open up. Good. And then we're going to switch. Again, reach back. Good. Okay. All right, we're going to finish up. Last thing. Just kind of transition between basically like up dog, down dog. Okay. So we'll start here. Okay. Like in child's pose, we'll press up. Just step one foot back, other foot back like you're in a push-up. Now, stay engaged here. I'm going to squeeze my quads, squeeze my glutes, and press my hips towards the ground. So I'm squeezing and pressing towards the ground like I'm pulling myself away. I'm pulling myself forward and creating traction really down my entire spine and opening up the front of my body. Just going to hold there. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to press back. So we're pressing ourselves back, like on top of our heels, reaching back, lifting up. Press the legs as straight as you can, pressing yourself away. Try to set the heels down. We'll hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back forward again. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Now we're just going to kind of flow back and forth. So we'll go forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. 2 more. Forward, back, forward, back. Now hop or pull yourself forward. Sit back on your heels and stand up. All right. So I hope that felt good today. Again, working some practice, mobility, prepping yourself for tomorrow's training, which should be a little more intense, and be able to try to assess and see if we're making progress with these body weight workouts. Have a great day.